Good evening, and welcome back to the Archive of Truth. Welcome to News Around. There are nights in Istanbul that are destined to be forgotten, swallowed by the fog and the relentless pace of the city. And then, there are nights that rewrite history. Nights where the carefully constructed facades of fame crumble, revealing the raw, beating heart underneath. We have all watched the dramas. We have all followed the scripts. But what happened last night on a film set in the heart of this city was not written by a screenwriter. It was not directed. It was a moment of absolute, terrifying honesty from a man who has spent years mastering the art of silence. Barış Arduç, the stoic titan of our screens, the man who wears his privacy like a suit of armor, has finally broken. In a confession that has sent shockwaves from the Bosphorus to the furthest corners of the globe, he has admitted what millions have suspected but dared not whisper: his heart still belongs to Elçin Sangu. Today, we are not just reporting news, we are documenting a seismic shift in the entertainment world. We are dissecting the trembling voice, the specific words that can never be unspoken, and the Elçin of it all. Is this a moment of weakness from an exhausted star, or is it the first chapter of a second chance? Before we step into the wreckage of this bombshell, I have a request for our loyal community. If you value journalism that isn't afraid of the emotional deep end, please make sure you are subscribed to News Around. And for those who wish to be the pillars of our channel, the guardians of these stories, I invite you to click the join button right next to the subscribe icon. Your membership allows us to be there when the truth breaks. Now, let us walk through that cold Istanbul night. The setting could not have been more atmospheric if it had been designed for a movie. It was a bitterly cold Istanbul night, the kind where the wind cuts through coats and the city lights seem to shiver in the distance. Outside the massive gates of a production studio, a small army of journalists and cameramen waited. They were freezing, tired, and expecting nothing more than the usual routine: a few flashed smiles, a wave, perhaps a generic "filming is going well" comment from the star as he rushed to his car. Barış Arduç had been working intensely. Reports from inside the set describe a grueling schedule, scenes that demanded high emotional output, and the kind of exhaustion that strips away a person's defenses. When he finally emerged, looking tired but startlingly handsome in the harsh glare of the streetlights, he seemed deep in thought. His shoulders carried the weight of the day, but his eyes held something else, a turbulence that the cameras picked up immediately. Initially, the interaction followed the standard script. He tried to deflect. He tried to keep the conversation on the professional track, avoiding the intrusive questions about his personal life that usually plague him. But the universe has a way of intervening. A reporter, perhaps sensing the fragility of the moment, pushed harder. The question wasn't about the script or the ratings. It was simple, direct, and disarming. How are you feeling emotionally these days? Are the rumors of an internal crisis true? This was the turning point. In any other timeline, Barış would have laughed it off. He would have given a charming, non-committal answer and closed the car door. But not last night. Last night, Barış Arduç stopped. Witnesses describe a change in the air pressure. He took a deep breath, a breath so heavy it was visible in the cold air. He looked directly into the lenses of the cameras, not with the practiced gaze of a celebrity, but with the haunting sincerity of a man who is done running. The silence on the street was deafening. And then, he spoke the words that are now scrolling across every news ticker in the country. I've tried to deny it, I've tried to move on, but I can't lie to myself anymore. Elçin Sangu is still in my heart, and that's something I can't erase. Let those words sink in. I can't lie to myself anymore. This is not a PR statement. This is a surrender. In front of witnesses, cameras, and microphones, Barış Arduç confessed that the ghost of his past is actually the protagonist of his present. He admitted that the feelings for his former co-star, the woman with whom he created television history, haven't disappeared, they have simply been waiting. According to those present, the shock was physical. Journalists lowered their notepads. Cameramen checked their viewfinders to make sure they were actually recording. It was inconceivable because Barış has always been the epitome of reserve. He is careful. He is calculated. But last night, he looked like a man who could no longer bear the suffocating weight of a secret. He didn't stop there. As if the dam had broken and the truth was flooding out, he continued, "Sometimes work unites you with people in a way you can't explain, and even as the years go by, that connection remains alive. Today I realized that I miss that energy that only she gave me. That energy that only she gave me." This is a clear, undeniable reference to the magical days they shared on screen. We all felt it, the chemistry that crackled like electricity, the looks that lingered a second too long. For years, we were told it was just good acting. We were told to separate fiction from reality. But now, with this confession, we know the truth. That magic wasn't a performance, it was a documentary of two souls colliding. That energy wasn't in the script, it was in the room. And apparently, it has endured the erosion of time. Imagine the scene, folks. The shock turned into a frenzy. Journalists stumbled over themselves to ask follow-up questions. Does she know? Have you spoken to her? What about your current life? But Boris, seemingly realizing the magnitude of what he had just done, retreated. Visibly emotional, his eyes glistening under the flashes, he looked like a man who perhaps regretted being so honest, yet felt the relief of the confession. He turned away from the microphones, got into his car, and slammed the door. But before he drove off, he rolled down the window for one final, cryptic remark. Life takes us down different paths, but the heart has its own memory. And with that, he drove off into the Istanbul night, leaving behind a bomb that had just detonated in the center of the magazine news cycle. He left a group of stunned professionals standing on the sidewalk, knowing they had just captured the scoop of the decade. I have to pause here and ask you, the romantic detectives of Newsaround, how does this confession make you feel? Are you shocked that he finally said it, or have you known it all along? Do you think he should have kept this private, or was it brave to speak his truth? I want to read your raw reactions in the comments below. Of course, the spotlight now shifts violently to the other half of this equation. All eyes are on Elçin Sangu. Where is she? What is she thinking? Did she know? Did she suspect that Boris still harbored such volcanic feelings? Or is she sitting at home, watching the news like the rest of us, her world tilting on its axis? So far, the beautiful actress hasn't made any statement. Her social media is silent, a stillness that feels heavy with anticipation. But sources close to the circle say this news is a game changer. It is not something that can be ignored or laughed off. We must remember that their chemistry was always natural, effortless. Fans always suspected there was a what if hanging over their heads. Now, Boris has turned what if into what is. If she has been keeping quiet, waiting for a sign, well, this is the biggest sign she could have possibly received. It is a flare shot into the sky. It is important to note the tone of this confession. Boris didn't say this jokingly. He didn't say it with a smirk to promote a new romantic comedy. His tone was serious, melancholic, and laced with a profound sadness. It was the tone of a man grappling with a truth he has tried to suppress for years. In the world of celebrities, everything is usually calculated. Relationships are PR stunts, breakups are scheduled press releases. But this was human. Boris chose to be vulnerable. He chose to risk the stability of his current life to honor the truth of his emotions. He chose to say, I am not a robot, I am a man who remembers love. This courage is rare. It is dangerous. And it is utterly captivating. It makes us wonder what will happen from now on. Such a strong declaration of longing cannot be stuffed back into the box. It demands a resolution. The reaction on social media has been instantaneous and overwhelming. The internet has melted down. Hashtags supporting the couple are trending worldwide. Fans are not just gossiping, they are campaigning. For many, Boris and Elçin are the definition of right person, wrong time. They are the tragedy that everyone wants to see turned into a triumph. Fans are pleading for a reunion, for a second chance. They are dissecting every old interview, every photo, looking for the clues that we missed. It's incredible how a few words can change everything, one fan wrote. And it is true. Until yesterday, the narrative was that they had moved on. They were colleagues who had drifted apart. Today, the narrative is that Boris has been carrying a torch through the storm, protecting a flame we all thought had gone out. The big question now hangs over the industry like a storm cloud. Does Elçin feel the same way? Or will this take her completely by surprise? Is this the beginning of a new chapter, a real-life romance that surpasses any script they ever acted in? Or is it simply a moment of weakness from a weary man, a nostalgic cry into the void that will go unanswered? What is certain is that the industry is in shock. Producers are on high alert, because if these two reunite, the power dynamic of the entire sector shifts. And fans are more excited than they have been in years. Barış Arduç has launched his arrow. He has pulled the string back as far as it can go and let it fly. Now, we just have to wait and see where it lands. As we conclude this report, one thing is certain. Tonight, no one in the entertainment world will sleep soundly. Everyone is thinking about the possibilities this confession opens up. We are witnessing one of the most exciting moments in the recent history of Turkish entertainment. This isn't about anonymous rumors or sources say. This is about the protagonist himself opening his chest and showing us his heart. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. We don't know if there will be a reconciliation or a heartbreak. But we do know that the truth is out, and it is beautiful in its pain. It is a moment of great tension and emotion, and News Around will be here to tell you every detail of what happens next. We will be watching Elçin's social media. We will be watching Barış's set. We will be the first to let you know if the arrow hits its mark. What do you think will happen? Will Elçin respond? Let us know your predictions in the comments below. Please, do not forget to like this video if you were moved by Barış's honesty. Subscribe to News Around so you never miss a beat of this developing story. And a massive thank you to our Join members, you make this channel possible. Until next time, keep your hearts open. Goodbye.